nigga suicide. Ain't no room for you and I. That's whoever do apply.
What's going on, family? I want to welcome everybody to the first installment of KeeZY, my podcast, if you want to call it that. Here, I'm just going to, discuss some topics about the entertainment industry that I feel like people need to know, that I've experienced through my journey. You know what I'm saying? I came a long way. A lot of people know my journey. If you don't, we gonna tap into that while you watch. But a little bit about myself. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Where, things don't come easy. You really gotta work for what you want, and you really gotta work to find a way out. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of confusion, especially now. You know what I'm saying? And, like, the industry is changing, obviously, and it's not changing for the better, in my opinion. It's changing for the better for, maybe managers and labels and companies and sponsors, endorsements, all of that. But for the actual talent, not that they don't have talent, but for the actual talent, and I'm not just talking about music artists, you know what I'm saying? As I talk, you'll notice that I'm not necessarily bound to music. We're going to talk about film. We're going to talk about modeling. We're going to talk about acting. We're going to talk about, videography and cinematography, differences and photography and management. It's a lot. So, the way we gonna do it is I'm gonna talk about 3 topics that hit my DMs. I'm basically giving long answers to questions that I've been asked, by you all in my DMs and by people that I work with. And every episode, I'm gonna give 3 bewares and 3 awares. The bewares, obviously, is stuff to look out for, that to stay away from, red flags. And awares are good signs, like, that's something to look into. That's something to consider for your careers, or if your management for your talent's career. So I will say names for some of the things that I talk about, who I may have learned something from, just for authenticity and, so you feel like I know what I'm talking about. I promise you I know what I'm talking about. So, like, the first topic I want to talk about, and most importantly, is your financial structure. And one of the main people that, I learned a lot from on the financial structure is this guy named Jay Warzinski. You can Google him and, learn what you want to learn about him. But, one of the realest things he told me was that, of course you need income flowing in. And we gonna definitely dive into that topic because it's a lot more to that. But you definitely need, like, your income coming in, correct? That don't necessarily mean you need a 9 to 5, or you need to sell drugs, or you need to, you know what I'm saying, like all the other avenues that you could take. But what's most important is that you figure out a way that your revenue can be somehow related to your passion, like, where you want to go, whether that's an artist, model, whatever. Figure out a way to make your revenue or your income in your industry. Main reason being, you're going to learn why you're earning the money. You're going to learn why you're chasing your dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you're an artist and you learn how to engineer, or you learn how to make beats, or you learn how to promote. If you keep your hustle in your industry, all it's gonna do is teach you more and more and more and more every day about your own hustle. You know what I'm saying? As an engineer, you know, you learn how people operate, the problems they run into, you know, the things they do wrong in the studio, the how something should sound, you know, how something shouldn't sound, what type of beats are hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that benefits your career and at the same time makes you money. And that's not, I'm not trying to box that in. Like, if you an artist, you can only learn engineering and producing. Like, no, anything entertainment. You see what I'm saying? So if it's about videography, you know what I'm saying? Part of your music journey is gonna be shooting videos. You know what I'm saying? So if you're shooting other people videos, I wouldn't do that too much. But if you're shooting other people videos, you know what I'm saying? It you start seeing, oh, this is what happens when you always late. This is how much it costs to book a set, or book a model, or book a car. You know what I'm saying? So you learn all that without having the experience, without having to do it yourself or spend your own money, because you're watching your clients do it. No, seriously. So try to make sure that your hustle is in your industry. That's so important. That's so important. And, you know, early on in my career, I had to learn everything because I never had the resources. So I had to learn how to make my beats. I had to learn how to mix and master. I had to learn how to record myself. I had to learn how to do the graphics. I had to learn how to shoot my own videos. Yes, shoot my own videos. I had to learn how to edit my videos. I had to learn how to color correct. I had to learn how to format it. I had to learn how to distribute it because I never had the resources. So you can imagine the thousands of artists that I've had to deal with, and I've seen all of the, you know, the issues, the waiting around, the I call it catalog hoarding, the mistakes they make on the video set. You know what I mean? Like, from all aspects. I'm not just talking about the artist. I'm talking about the manager. I'm talking about the models. I'm talking about the, like, for when you rent a car, the what you're allowed to do with it, what you're not allowed to do with it, what deposits and all. Like, I had to learn every single aspect. I was forced to. You know what I'm saying? So this stuff is big. You know what I mean? And like I said, when your money's coming in from your industry, all you do is learn, and you get paid to learn. You get paid to learn. Now imagine the different route I would have had to take if my hustles weren't in my industry. If I worked at, let's say, Amazon. I'm at Amazon 10 hours a day. Nothing relating to entertainment. I'm not learning anything. And then I go home and try to figure it out as I make songs or as I try to set up a video. It's a big difference. Like, you see what I'm saying? So keep your hustle in your industry. If you a model, it's hustles. It's hustles for you to make some money. You know what I mean? I'm gonna dive into that for a second. If you're a model, you know, you really got to be particular about your opportunities. You can't treat them all the same. I don't care what your manager's saying. I don't care what your agent's saying. You cannot treat them all the same. It's case by case basis. So if you get, you know, a gig for this music video, your agent or manager, if they're not experienced, if they don't know how this shit really work, they may tell you, oh no, 300 an hour, 150 an hour, $50 an hour without even checking what the opportunity is. Now, don't get me wrong. You're born with your appearance. Yeah, you can change it up, but I mean, that's already set in stone when you begin to model. You already have the talent for that career, the basis of it. So, yes, you can charge up front. You don't have to blow your name up, or, you know what I'm saying? You can charge up front, but it's case by case basis. If there's a video, if an artist hits you up, for a music video, and let's say he has 1 million followers, obviously, it's probably a good idea to charge him less. This is your career. They're your decisions. It don't matter if the next artist knows you charge him less. It's a reason you charge less. Voice it. It's your career. It's your body. Or, if the artist asks you to do more, say twerk or wear a bikini or wear lingerie, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, talk it over with your agent, your manager, whatever, but don't forget, you want your face in. You know what I'm saying? Negotiate, whatever, but, don't just throw a number at him. These my rates. Odds are he's never heard of you. Somebody probably sent you to him. He came across your page, whatever. So don't operate like, you know what I'm saying, you already there, because trust me, every artist I've ever dealt with, me, myself too, it offends us when the first response is, I'm 300 an hour. I ain't tell you nothing about the project. This may be, you know what I'm saying, the type of project you always wanted. This may have been exactly the type of projects you like doing, whatever. So, because think about it, the market for modeling is so saturated now that every girl is a model. Every girl with an Instagram is trying to be a model. If you know what I'm saying, if you're not known or somebody, and you come off like that, all I gotta do is keep scrolling. All I gotta do is go to the next, prospect. So just be careful. You know what I'm saying? And don't always make it about money, because, you jump in that video, with the guy with the 1 million followers, whatever. That may lead to 5 more projects that week, 5 more projects that month, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because of the opportunity that it was, So that's big. That's important. And agents and managers, whatever, they only gonna think money. They have to understand that too. And I'm talking to them too. So it's levels to it. As a model, you gotta lean towards what you want to be. So whether that be a lingerie model, which I think everybody want to be now for some reason. If you want to be a lingerie model, what should most of your photos look like? What should you be wearing? Lingerie. If you want to be a fashion model for different clothing lines, showing your body in a bikini or in lingerie is not going to get you more of those shoots. We want to see what you look like with clothes on. We want to see what you might look like with my designs on you. You know what I mean? So, and another thing, with the quality, people just take pictures with their iPhones and say they're models. It's a misconception about social media. You can't be a model just on Instagram. We call those Instagram models. It's like, say, a magazine a magazine wants to feature you, is like, say you're pitching to the magazine, like, if you don't have quality photos, we literally can't put you there. We literally can't put you there unless we do a whole photo shoot, or unless you go out and do a whole photo shoot, which you haven't experienced if you haven't already started doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared for opportunity. You got to be able to, you got to be in a position to take the opportunity. Now, I don't want to dwell on modeling too much, but of course, like I said, I'll be dipping and dabbing in, the different realms of entertainment as we talk. Another big topic that I've been talking to people about lately is what I call the spark. Now, this is a very controversial topic. A lot of people not gonna agree with me, and a lot of the people that don't agree with me probably aren't established. But I call it the spark. What the spark is it's the point that every single talent in entertainment is most likely trying to reach. The spark is not, oh, I'm platinum, oh, I just got a Grammy. That's not what the spark is. So what the spark is, an easier way to explain it is that viral moment. Everybody works to that viral moment. The reason I'm not trying to use the word viral, because it's gimmicky. It's gimmicky. So, like, if an artist is running around doing all these interviews, right? Subconsciously or consciously, he's waiting for that one interview that's gonna catch fire. The one that's gonna get the most attention and get eyes on him. That spark. No, that don't have to be an interview. That could be a post. That could be a song. That could be a video. That could be some drama. You know what I mean? Like, it could be anything, but that spark, that's what everybody wants to reach. Yes, you can buy the spark. We're not gonna go there yet. Yes, you can buy the spark. But with that being said, that raises the argument about who's working the hardest. Obviously, I'm pretty sure we all know you can't judge talent based on status. So where somebody is does not mean this person's better than this person. Speaking about artists, just because this person has more sales, streams, views, whatever, does not mean he's better than this artist. So with that being said, this is the controversial statement. This is not about outworking the next man. That's an illusion. And that's going to bring me to another topic that I'm probably not going to talk about today, but it's about, there's two different industries. We're talking about the same, music, entertainment, film, whatever, but there's two industries, and I'm going to break them down later. But, you can't say one person does 3 interviews in 3 months. Say another person does 12 interviews in 3 months. The person that did 3 interviews spilt a can of Coke on the microphone in the interview. The interview went viral. He got a spark. The guy that did 12 interviews was real, practiced and rehearsed, you know what I mean? But, when he did what he was supposed to do, but it was all careful, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't get the spark. Who worked harder? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that everybody is chasing that spark, You don't know when the spark's gonna come. It's in God's hands. You don't know when the spark's gonna come. So the what I'm trying to get at is the solution is to give yourself a bigger chance to get the spark. Does that mean hard work? Not necessarily. It means the right work. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example. My boy, Bino, like, you know, I don't know too many artists that, um, do behind the scenes of their studio sessions or film their studio sessions. You could create 100 hits. I can create a hit right now, you know, but there's only the song that can get the spark. There's only the song. So, well, let me continue the story because it'll make more sense. This dude, he catches a lot in action. Whether it's on your phone, it don't matter. He catches it. So he was in the studio, and he did a session with Zaytoven. You can look it up. Just because he had the camera out in the session, he had no idea what it was gonna do. He filmed the session. It was literally just on his phone and just cooking up. Smacked 4 million views. Got picked up by different magazines, blogs, everything. Because, he created that opportunity. If you're a content creator, then create content. Show me what's up. I don't just want to hear the song. Show me how you make the song. Show me who was in the room when you made the song. What energies. I want to see the process. And it's just giving you a better chance to get that spark that you are chasing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, think about it. If we don't even know what that beat turned out to be, who ended up getting on it, anything like that, what blew up was a little video in the session. So it's giving you that chance to get a spark. You don't know you're gonna get a spark, but it's giving you a better chance. So if you're gonna post something to Instagram, post it to TikTok too. Post it to Facebook. Post it to YouTube. They're all free. They're all free. Post it. Give yourself a better chance. Is that necessarily working harder than somebody else? No, that's just putting the work somewhere else. You think it's better to go in the studio and make 100 songs. I gotta keep making records. No, you don't. Yes, it's fun. Yes, you love it. Yes, I love it. But that's not what you have to do. You gotta position yourself to be able to become somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's 100 times harder for me to just come across your Spotify link. There's only a handful of, people that, let me just see what new music from some underground artists just released. Because 90% of people ain't gonna pay for no promo. They just think because the song's good, that's enough promo. I'm trying to give you the keys because, like, it's common sense. It's common sense, but until you hear it, it don't really make sense. You don't really think of it. So in order to get that spark, you got to position yourself. And again, I'll go to bat with anybody that want to argue that it's not about outworking the next man. It's not. It's about where you put the work. You know what I'm saying? How many managers, to you artists out there, how many managers done told you got to keep cranking out the records, and your catalog just keeps growing, and then you end up stop dealing with them, and now you're just sitting there with this big, humongous catalog. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something with it. If you were to get picked up by, let's say you put out a nice record, just so you can move on to the next record and know like somebody can find that song. Somebody can come across my YouTube link. Somebody can come across my Apple Music link. The song gotta be up there. If you were to get picked up by a company, whatever, blah, blah, that likes the song, they want to put the song out, guess what? You can take it down. You can take it down. You know, I know it's the same for other artists, but you know, the more you make records, you know, you stop caring or thinking about the earlier records because you're excited about new records now, and the other records may very well still be hits, but you ain't thinking about them no more. You got new ones. You know what I'm saying? So don't hoard your catalog. You got to give yourself an opportunity to get that spark. You know, it's songs that I didn't even want to put out that are some of my hottest songs. Come to think of it. You know, so, you know, and if you want to do more with it, like I said, just take it down. I can't tell you how many people, you know, they get a bag, they get 100,000, 200,000, season 350,000, and the first thing they do, super long studio sessions, immaculate video shoots. It's like, okay, I understand. That's the fun stuff. The video shoots and all that, that's the fun stuff. So I understand you putting money into that. But it's not right. If you already got content, put yourself in position with that money. You know what I'm saying? If you I'm pretty sure after you get that money, you're not about to create your first hit. You got hits. If it's already out, put that money on that. You make $1 million, $2 million, $5 million off one song. You got the money to push it. But why would you spend the money on more content? It's not about, like I said, it's not about how I look. It's about that spark. That spark. You chasing that spark, which can be bought. You know, I can't tell you how many times I just seen commas just get blown on, you know, creating more. Like, you were already creating. I ain't gonna dwell on it. And it's crazy because that actually brings me to the next topic, which is creating your own luck. I don't believe in luck. Everything's in God's hands, but I say creating luck to resonate. So you know, kind of know where I'm going with it. Like, you can create your own luck. And that's just simply by putting yourself in position, like I've been saying. You know, with social media being such a playground, you know, it's easy to get in front of it. When I say easy, I mean, I guess affordable. You know, a lot of people, big ups to the OG, Pimp and Ken. You know, we was having a conversation about, you know, it's not really about money, this, that. But it's like, you know, we in two different lanes. We in two different lanes. You know, as an artist, right now it's about money. Right now it's about money. And that's why I say the industry is going so negative. You go to places like, you know, Atlanta, or you talk to, I lived in Atlanta. So, or you talk to, you know, different DJs and different, not radio stations, platforms and magazines and whatever. And it's all about the price up front. It's all about the price. You could have the best content, the craziest, hottest next song. The first thing they talking about, is this money. And even after hearing the song, it's about the money. And that's why you go look at these, magazines, and you go look at these set lists and all this, and it's not really quality content. It's not really, it's just who paid. It's a lot of who paid, So with that being said, when you get the money, it's so many ways to get ahead of these saturated markets. Every single social media and streaming platform, and they all have ads. They all have ads. And you can't tell me that they don't work. They work. It's about how much you're putting into them, or how consistent you are with using them. So that's not saying go to Instagram and do a week-long ad. It's consistent, like treat it like it's rent. Okay, I gotta put $1,000 on promo a month, and they gotta be there every month. These ads gotta continue. Then it's not using one platform. You hear people call it, oh, he's a TikToker, he's a Instagrammer. Don't limit yourself. Spread it out. If that means putting a bigger budget, then you gotta put a bigger budget. This industry's not gonna shape to you. You know what I'm saying? It's about putting yourself in position. So, man, I can't tell you. I got so many, dashboards. It's like you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Spotify, you got Hulu. You know what I mean? You got Google, you got I'm not sure if I said TikTok. You got, and these are all the platforms that offer ads to the public. You can pay for ads on all of them. Yes, you can go pay for ads on Hulu. So imagine, let's say you were getting good money. Let's say you're getting about $5,000 a month, maybe $10,000 a month. If you put $500 on each platform, you just created, an opportunity. You just created momentum. You know what I mean? Without anybody having to share you. Without having to get that big feature. Because, think about how many of these artists from back in the day, it's like, even if you never heard their music again, never saw new videos, you don't forget about them. You don't forget about them. So it's about getting in front of people. Once you get in front of people, okay, focus on getting in front of more people. Get in front of more people. They're not going to forget you. And then you'll start creating, I had this conversation with Street Runner, and he was telling me, you build your cult following. Not everybody's going to latch on to you, but the people that do, okay, you start feeding them. You know what I'm saying? You start learning what your demographic is, your areas and your regions, all of that. Target them. You know what I'm saying? But you creating an opportunity for yourself. So yeah, even, I get told all the time, like, oh, it's just about who you know and this, that, but that does play a big part. But 95% of the situations I've been in, it's like, okay, I know the right person, but when it's time to talk, you start talking them chips. You start talking about money. And if you ain't got it, all right, then we'll reconvene. You know what I'm saying? That's 95% of, because what you want them to do probably costs. Whether it's a, videographer. Okay, if you can get one free video out of this guy, it's about consistency. What about the videos after that? He's not going to keep shooting you. A studio. You may get that free session. You may get that discounted session. Every session is not going to be discounted. So you can't, you know, just keep jumping around. You know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared. So yes, I agree with, you got to know the right people, quality people, but you also got to have your bag right and have your bag ready, which is not easy at all. To go back to the topic of, to go back to my first topic about your financial structure, if you go back in so many of these moguls and successful artists, you go back into their beginnings, a lot of them say they came from, drugs, scamming, pimping, robbing, you know, because let's just be realistic. Let's just be realistic. In the black community, mostly, we don't have the capabilities or resources to, go get that 100,000 from our parents. Go get that $100,000 loan from the bank. Convince this investor that I'm the next Drake. So every day most people are searching for a get rich quick scheme or whatever, like trying to achieve the impossible. Trying to, I need to get this 6 figures real quick. This 7 figures. Okay. So, people start spending a lot of time having investor conversations and label conversations, and they waste a lot of time. I did. You waste a lot of time because in that whole time, you're not dropping music. You're not spending your own money because, you're hopeful that these situations come through. They about to put this $250,000 behind you, whatever. So, you patient. Then it falls through and you wasted a year. Okay. Then you in the next situation, falls through, you wasted 2 years. It's real. It's real. So I'm not really advising you to not have them conversations and whatever, but in the meantime, set yourself up to be able to get that spark, because they're going to treat you differently. They're going to treat you differently when you got your own motion. I can tell you right now that, I bet money, and I'm 99% positive you're not going to get an investor for your music. You're not going to get an investor for your music. We talking about one of the only things I'm sure it's not the only thing, but we talking about one of the only things that you can't prove. I could show you a crazy song. I could show you a quality song, but you can't prove everybody's going to like this until everybody likes this. Does that make sense? Like, that's why them investor conversations is like right out the gate. It's like, oh, I want to put money in your music, but it's always a bunch of conversations or, whatever. I know it's people out there disagreeing with this, like, no, you gotta do this, but they haven't got the investment. So are you proving my point, or are you trying to convince me? You haven't gotten the investment. And if you have, you're an anomaly. You know what I mean? Like, how many stories are there like that? This artist found somebody to put $250,000 legal money into their career. If your investor is in drugs, if your investor is in scamming, if your investor is in pimping, if your investor is in robbing, that's proving my point. I'm not necessarily talking about the artist getting the money from those avenues. I'm talking about the collective. So I'm not saying don't have those conversations, but I'm saying you got to put yourself in position How you put yourself in position with these investors, you gotta have some money, have some money rolling in. You gotta show that, man, this dude got 20 videos out his own pocket. This dude got 4 albums out his own pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense for them. Make it make sense. Because most artists obviously are they do outrageous things. Let's go buy 50 outfits after we get a lump sum of money. Let's go shoot some videos. Let's go, I had a conversation with the CEO of It's Gorgeous, my homie, Gorgeous. And he called it when you become that guy. I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but when he said when you become that guy, the point when you become that guy is, let's say you finally push a record to platinum. Your record is platinum. Every single conversation you have with the exact same people you may have talked to for years is different, because now you're a priority. Now they gotta convince you to let them get in. That's when the investors flood in. It's like, okay, people like him. People like his music. It's proven. Now they're comfortable putting this 100,000, 200,000, whatever. But that's because they put themselves in position first. They had to push. They had to find a spark, whatever. They had to get to that point first. And if you've had label conversations, I've had multiple label conversations where it's like, numbers, you gotta have numbers. You know what I'm saying? They want it to be as easy as possible for them to just accelerate it, add some fuel. So, when you become that guy, all those conversations are different. With artists you try to feature, with labels you want to talk to, promoters, investors, videographers, producers, studios, like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous because it's a form of currency. Like, when you become that guy, it's a form of currency. Like, can't tell you how many people get free videos because of who they are, free studio time because of who they are. It really happens. It really happens. I see it from both ends of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Most of the time, like, for example, I go to a city, like, let's say Vegas or something, and the promoter recognized me, and the entire week is free. Every event, bottles, sections, sometimes the hotel, because, they consider you that guy. Everything's different. Now they want to talk. And don't hate them for it, but now they want to talk because you proven, just like other investments, other different types of investments, real estate. Because we not just talking about, like in real estate, we're not talking about specific projects. We talking about real estate as a whole. Yes, there's a lot of money I can make back from real estate. I'm open to talk about this investment. But in music, yes, there's a bunch of different artists, but every single one of them is 1,000% different. 1,000% different. Your look, your background, where you are, your hustle, your sound, you know what I'm saying? Everything's different. And if it's not different, it's going to fail. 99% of the time. So I don't want to, dwell on that too long, but I just want to get to a couple bewares and awares. I want to start with a big aware. This is a big name dropping. And this is circumstantial, but it's most of the time it's a red flag. It's this name dropping. When you talk to let's say a manager, and they just get to saying these names like, oh, I I have access to blah blah, Fetty Wap or Lupe Fiasco or something like. They just start dropping these names or people they've worked with, like a videographer saying, "Oh, I shot for blah blah." Man, most artists are drawn to that because they know those names. It's like a subconscious thing. It's like, oh, they know those names, so that makes me want to work with you. When it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because obviously I know people from both sides of the spectrum. So the people at the top, I know people that shoot for like Soldier Boy or something, and no disrespect to Soldier Boy, but their videos aren't quality. But then I know people that just shot somebody who just made their first song, and the video is ridiculous. The video is immaculate. It's beautiful. Like, so it's not about who they shot for. When they use those names, it makes you want to shoot with them. It makes you want to work with them. But it shouldn't. It should always come down to the video. Show me the work. Videos is definitely a good example to use right now. Show me the work. And that goes for every other lane. That goes for photographers. That goes for engineers. That goes for, what I'm saying? The engineers say, "Oh, I work with Lil Wayne." Then they play the mix and it's like, you must have just been there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about them names that they drop. And every lane does it. Every lane does it. Models, like I say, photographers, managers, promoters, they name drop. Please focus on the quality of the work, because this is what's allowing so many of these different occupations, I guess, to claim that title when they don't deserve that title. I know people like videographers. I know videographers that, man, went to school for 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, experience, learned. They shoot crazy, immaculate videos. But then there's a videographer over here that, because it's French Montana cousin, he's shooting for everybody. He got a video with, Coil Ray, or, crazy names. And he been shooting for a year. And because his client's so big, they bought him a crazy camera that he don't know how to set anything on it. No exposure, no aperture, or anything. Like, he has no idea. All he know how to do is record. And he's taking that title of a videographer, and he's changing everybody's perception of a videographer. That's not a videographer. It's not. It's a cameraman. No, for real. So I pay attention. I pay attention to that type of stuff. Like, engineers are coming to studio because they can hit record, because they can track you. They claim to be a vocal engineer, but some people, I see them hit the boards and they like crazy with it. All the terminology, the vocabulary, all of that. It's like, that's an engineer. That's an engineer. So just beware of the name dropping. Pay attention to the quality of the work, because you can get, this has nothing to do with pricing. I promise you, this has nothing to do with pricing. You can get a terrible video, but because of his name dropping, because he tells you he shot for, because he tells you he shot for, Travis Scott or whatever, he gonna charge you $3,000-$5,000. You know what I'm saying? But his video is terrible. But then you got, on the other hand, somebody that may charge you $1,000 because they trying to, up their portfolio. I've been in a situation multiple times where they want that for their portfolio. They see you're a serious artist. They like the song. I want this video in my portfolio. You get that video for $1,000. But nowadays, like I said, it's the name dropping. I want to shoot with him. I want to shoot because he shot for blah blah. They are not true. Because he shot for Travis Scott does not mean Travis Scott is gonna share the video. Like I said, it's common sense, but it's overlooked. You know, we don't think that deep, and we should. So beware of name dropping, please. Beware of name dropping. You know, and not to be arrogant, but most of the time when I first meet somebody or whatever, and they start name dropping, I probably done worked with the people they name dropping, or put the person they're name dropping in position. For real, that happened plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? So the name dropping not important. Let me see what you can do. Show me your work. Show me your hustle, whatever. Then we could work. Most of the time, you don't end up working with them, or I don't, because the quality's not there. That's 99% of the time. There's only a handful of actually talented people. You gonna realize it. It's only a handful of actually talented people. And that's why the higher you climb, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You fly out to Atlanta, you fly to Miami, you fly to LA, this person that knows this person in LA, then you fly to Miami, this person knows this person that in Atlanta. Like, it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller when you start dealing with professionals. You know what I'm saying? So make yourself a professional at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But become one of those names. So they don't gotta drop no names to you. Become one of those names. That's a big beware. Another beware, and again, this is another controversial topic. Another beware is what I like to call these multi-labels. What a multi-label is, this is a term I created. And this is why I say there's two different industries. We're going to have to explain that. I'm going to have to get to that in the next episode. How many times in history, since the beginning, to your knowledge, has a big collective made it? I don't believe in that term, but since so many people use it, I'm going to use it. Has a big collective made it? Every situation where there's a collective, it started with one. And they're kind of creating this illusion, unintentionally, they're creating this illusion that it can work. What I mean by creating an illusion that it can work is like, oh, we need to, we need more artists. We need a group. You know what I mean? It's already almost impossible for one person to make it. It's almost impossible. You know how many things have to go right? And here we are trying to make 10 people famous. Like, come on. So the formula has always been, get this one guy there. Imagine this one guy has $1,000. The next guy has 1,000. The next guy has 1,000. The next guy has 1,000. They're all putting it into themselves, not getting nothing done. What's that? A couple studio sessions, one video, a little bit of promo. But imagine those 10 people, that $1,000 going towards one person. Now he's there. You see what I'm saying? Now he's established. Now he can bring everybody. How many times have you seen that? Think about it. Every single label. I'm not talking about the major labels. Every single rapper label, I call them. Young Money, MMG, Dream Chasers. I don't know what wow, this is pretty bad. I don't really know what J. Cole's label is called, or Kendrick's label, or Future's label. It's like, get that one person there first and bring everybody. The whole collective is not about to blow up. You don't have a budget. You need $5 million, $1 million, whatever, for everybody. So I say stay away from these multi labels where it's like they don't have a name that they can tell you they got established because they're too busy focusing on 30 people. And that's a sensitive topic for an artist like me because it's like, I'm my own person. I put my heart, soul, experience into my lyrics. So it's like you're not just going to go into a meeting and play my first verse and then turn it off and go to somebody else's. It's like, no, go ahead, handle them out. Hit me when it's my meeting, my individual meeting, so we can focus on what I'm saying, so we can focus on my story. You see what I'm saying? So stay away from them multi labels that aren't going to be able to give you attention. You need attention. You need attention. It's so important. You need attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just labels, it's managers, it's videographers, you know what I'm saying? I had this conversation with Jay Taylor. He's a big videographer in Cleveland, my homie. Like a videographer putting all his attention towards one artist. It's happened so many times where the videographer blows up because the artist blows up with him. Or they they're in alignment. Versus a videographer just trying to get his name out there from shooting so many people. You're relying on all them people to do all the right things to get themselves in position. Odds are they won't. All you're doing for them is a video. But when it's one artist and it's consistent, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you gotta choose the right artist, somebody that's has a work ethic and everything. It makes sense to do consistent work for, but that focus is big. They have to be able to focus on you. Every lane. So, if the label's capable, if they got resources, all that to be able to focus on, more than one artist, pay attention to that. Odds are they don't, because we're not talking about major labels. These are all upcoming and all of this. Like, it's impossible because even the major labels aren't, putting all their gas behind 20 people at a time. That's a complex topic because I mean, like, in one territory, one push, whatever, they may have, an artist in pop or an artist in hip hop, whatever. But, in one realm, they're not focusing on too many people. They may shelve this person so they can focus on blah, blah. Like, they're giving them attention. So that's something these multi labels and these multi managers haven't actually realized just yet. I have. So that's a big beware too. I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna give you one aware, something to look for. It may sound like a beware, but it's really aware. There's people that, they may want to be your manager, or they may want to be, involved in something. Make sure they have history there, or no history at all. Now that's gonna sound weird. Let me break that down real quick. If somebody comes to you and they want to be your manager, let's say you're a music artist, that's always gonna be my go-to. Let's say you're a music artist and they want to, manage you. If their history is in photography or you know what I mean, odds are most of the time they can't get the job done. They won't get the job done because they're learning your field as they're working with you. This is common sense. And that's why I say, even when they have no history, they may not have experience in your realm, but they have laser focus in your realm because they're not tied to any other careers or anything like, or you know what I mean? So that's not preferred. Preferred is obviously get you a manager with experience in your field. Obviously, that's so obvious. And you probably thinking, why am I even saying this? Because people don't do that. Their managers be in completely different realms. It happens all the time. All because of talk. You know, that's not saying don't work with those people. Work with those people in their realm. You know, if you're a pop artist, that don't mean get you a hip hop manager. There is a massive, massive difference. That's why I can't wait to talk about the two different industries. There's a massive difference. So if you're a pop artist, get you a pop manager. Get you somebody that has managed pop artists. If it takes you longer to find them, it will benefit you. It will benefit you to try and find him. Be patient. Don't stop dropping, but be patient. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real big piece. You know what I'm saying? I see people teams and it's like, you know, their manager is a owner of a clothing line, or you see what I'm saying? Like, they gotta have experience in your field. If they're multi-talented, whatever, everybody say they're multi-talented now, you know, make them prove it first. Because at the end of the day, you in control. They're trying to sell themselves to you. So don't, you know, they want to sell themselves to you. That's all I got for y'all today. Stay tuned. You know, I'm gonna try to give y'all these keys as often as I can. Hit my DMs if y'all got anything y'all want me to talk about. You know, I'm gonna give y'all a preview to my new single, and of course, y'all stay tuned for my eclectic album coming out soon. Yeah, subscribe. There's gonna be a lot more coming, so you know, stay tuned, stay up to date. Like I said, talk to me. Send me some DMs what y'all want me to talk about, whatever. It can pertain to anything. I'm versed. So, you know what I'm saying? Good morning, good day, good night.
Yeah, you can tell that I let Atlanta get to me. Say she fucking with me, but she ain't officially. I just don't know why she taking all these pics of me. You gon' have a lot of pussy niggas dissing me, but so be it. Goddamn, someone tell me what the move is. You